All right, so we are here today with Robert Lafleche from East Granby. And Robert, it's great to have you here today. It's been a while since I've been in East Granby, but a little familiar from my time there. But it's great to see you today. Great to have you on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your role, how long you've been at East Granby, and what you're doing today?
Well, I've been at East Granby for about 13 and a half years. I run your VTLs, VMC, and our Blanchard, which all tie into cutting plates for our lapping machines.
So how are things going at the facilities these days? How have operations been kind of managing through this COVID-19 crisis?
Well, we've had to do quite a few things for each other. First of all, being where we're located between New York City and Boston. I'm from Massachusetts, so I travel from Mass into Connecticut every day. We have over 20,000 cases in Massachusetts and probably almost up to 13,000 in Connecticut. And then, as you know, in New York City. And we have people coming from both directions. So there becomes, I think the first couple of weeks was pretty stressful for a lot of people here. A lot of high anxiety, not knowing what to do or how this disease works. So we had to do a lot of things. First is just being clean. And so what we did was have a lot of sanitizer. We keep our hands clean constantly. A reminder not to touch your face, which is as soon as you say don't touch your face, you know your nose is going to itch.
Right.
Just a guarantee. So that's one of the things you really have to strive in keeping our distance, a safe distance from each other. And in the manufacturing plant, that's kind of tough sometimes when it's loud and you want to get something to say and you walk up to and you realize, oh, I'm getting a little too close. And it's just practicing that. And not only practicing here, but also practicing it at home too. So it's been quite difficult, but we're really pushing through it really well. And it's just a constant reminding people what we have to do. It's just over and over again, reminding them, please keep your distance, please wash your hands, wear a mask if you're comfortable wearing a mask.
You guys have kind of created an ingenious solution to the temperature monitoring situation. You want to explain that?
Yeah, a couple of our maintenance guys and our engineer got together and we're figuring out how to take people's temperature without being too close, within 6 feet. So they came up with a really cool idea using a string with a temperature mounted to a beam, and it works. And that way they don't have to be close to monitor everybody's temperatures. And that's another thing about coming into work every day is you have to remember to go have your temperature taken and read the questions that are on the chart to make sure you're not feeling any of those things and check it off. So it's a good way to remind you that you have to start when you're at work to start thinking positive about what you're going to do. You know, that's another thing that management's been really great about with us is staying positive. Our HR manager's been sending little notes every day in our emails about, something positive that's going on or something nice just to get people's spirits up, because it's tough. It really is. Every time you sneeze, you're thinking, uh-oh, is this it? Or, okay, I'm not feeling good today. Maybe this is it. And of course, what time of year is it in New England right now? It's allergy season. So all of us who suffer with allergies start wondering, my eyes are watering and they're itchy and I really want to rub them.
Yeah.
So we have that going on too. So there's a lot, but one thing you have when you're working with this group of people that I'm working with, and I've been in manufacturing for over 30 years, is we're a family here. And we were a family before we were CoorsTek, but we're even more of a family now. We have some really good people working here, really positive people. Sorry, emotional. Okay. Both my sons work here. So it's a family thing here. And with my boys, if something were to happen, if we became infected, it's affecting my work family, but it's also affecting my family home.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I speak from the heart, and sometimes it gets me going. Okay, but It's true. And I'm not the only one. It's not just that. There's a lot of families in here. We have husbands and wives, we have fathers and sons, and it becomes, you see that in their eyes that, they're hurting, they're scared.
Yeah.
And that's where being a family here becomes so much more important. We need to be there for each other and listen to each other. And I do that a lot because everybody walks by me. So when someone has a problem, they come over and they'll talk for a little bit, and just to get something off their shoulders. What have you heard? What are your feelings on this? What do you think we should be doing? And we just do it, and it comes to play with our tier one meetings. And that's why we get tier one meeting. They started talking about companies and everything else. I said the first question in our tier one meeting during this time should be, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How are your feelings? How are your families doing? Do you have any questions about what's going on? Do you need something from us? These are things that people need to be reinforced about, because then they'll feel better about coming in here.
It certainly is a tight knit community over there, and it's great that you guys are taking time to not just watch out and care for the health needs of each other, but also the emotional needs, because it is an emotional time.
It is a highly emotional time.
It's great to see you guys pulling together. So beside the thermometer, I know that there have been a lot of great things going on in East Granby over the last year or so. So regardless of what's going on with COVID-19, tell me a little bit more about some of the positive things that you're seeing around the facility.
Well, one of the positive things I'm seeing around the is, well, we expanded. We've got a lot more machines now, which is wonderful. But it's a good thing because it's nice to see a company going in the right direction for once. Like I said, manufacturing for 30 years, but every company I worked for seemed to be going the opposite way. So it's nice to have one that's going in the right direction. And it's fun to be part of that, because it's kind of like being in the front lines of a blossoming company. And it's kind of fun because we're finding new things, ways of what we can do with our product. And that's kind of exciting.
So if you had any other advice or things that you would want to share with some of our other facilities, other team members that you guys have learned along the way, what might that be?
At our tier one meetings, I noticed that we were kind of getting bunched up, and people, because you have 10 people and they're trying to hear and everything else. So at one of the meetings, I went out with a 6-foot ruler, extended 6 feet, and was like hitting everybody. Not hitting, but I was just bumping into them. So I said, we have a problem that we need to fix. So the next day when I came in, I marked off 6-foot areas, 10 spots all around our tier one board. So now 10 people, everyone has a spot to go now. So there's no more bunching up and getting too close. Just means that our group leader has to talk a little bit louder, but we're working on something with that, so hopefully we wouldn't have to. Now, getting back to the question that you just asked about what I'd want to talk to my fellow associates and all the other plants. First is take care of each other. That's the most important thing through this whole thing that we're going through, is you need to take care of each other. Take care of your neighbors. Look on your elderly friends, because some of them are too proud to say anything, but they need to be looked after. And just take the time to listen to each other. When someone comes in all worked up, ask them what's going on, what's happening, what do you need help? I mean, everybody in this plant has at least somebody that they know of that's going through this virus, myself included. A close friend of ours is in a coma right now. It's touching everybody, and I'm hoping that it's plateaued and it'll start going down. But we need to, as a group, just go back to being human beings and taking care of each other. So you need to take care of yourself, take care of your families, think about what you're doing, who you got at home, so and you got to just keep reminding people to do it in a good way, not screaming and hollering and getting all upset, but just bring them off to the side if they're not acting responsible, and say, hey, you need to start taking this seriously. Yeah. It's not a joke. So I'd like to say to all my CoorsTek employees and people out there in other plants around the world, is just take care of each other. That's it.
Yeah, that's really great words, great thoughts. Thank you for spending some time with me today to go through
Pleasure,
the
Tim.
exciting things that are happening, as well as even the emotional side of things.
I get
No, that's all right. So, Robert, thank you very much. My best wishes to you, your sons, the entire East Granby team. It's been great to have you part of our team. So, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, I really, really appreciate it, Timothy. I really do. And I miss you. You need to get out here sometime.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.